Saurav, today we will learn about printing a pattern which looks like this. Today in this video we will learn about how to print this pattern. For this pattern is for user input 4. But before learning this pattern, let's understand the basics of how the pattern printing works and how it works with the help of rows and columns. I mean how rows and columns play a important role in printing the pattern. So let's see. So let's first start with the basic pattern. So let's print this. This is one of the basic pattern, square pattern. All the pattern printing starts from this. So to print a pattern, so first in this pattern, you can see from this side there are rows, from this side there are columns. Column number 1, column number 2, column number 3. Row number 1, row number 2, row number 3. So by the help of this method, row and column, we print our pattern using programming. Let's see. We all know first we have to go through row number 1, through row this. After going into this row, we have to go through column number 1, column number 2, column number 3. After completing this portion, we will move to row number 2. When we are in the row number 2, we will again go for column number 1, column number 2, column number 3. After completing this, we will move to the row number 3, and again in row 3 we will move for column number 1, column number 2, column number 3. And after reaching end, our pattern will be printed like this. So let's see how pattern is printed in the programming. So first we define our row. We were defining our row by R variable and initializing it with value 1. And we are using while loop here. We can also use for loops, but while loops are easier and better for printing loops. So we will, as I have explained in this example, we are moving from row 1 to the last row. For there, in this example, the user input is 3. So a square pattern, a matrix of 3 by 3 will be printed. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 3 rows and 3 columns are there. So we will take our while loop with a condition while row is less than or equal to n. It means the loop will continue to run until the row is not equal to our user input, which is n. So first the row is 1, then it will be 2, then it will be 3. We will increment inside the loop. Inside this loop we will see later. After doing this, and also you can see this for user input 3, we are printing this square matrix. So the column will be from column 1, column 2, column 3, 1, 2, 3. So we will print here. We will initialize our column with a variable c and give it a value 1. Why we are giving it the value 1 inside this while loop and not outside? Because in every iteration of row, for row 1, row is equal to 1, we have to go through every column from beginning. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. First row completed, second row will come, our c will reset to 1, our column will reset to 1. So again we will start from here. 1, 2, 3 row, we will increment the row and again come here. Row is equal to 3. Again column resets to 1. Then we will go again from 1, 2, 3. So that's why we are declaring this c inside this while loop. After doing this, we will use another while loop inside this while loop. Simply we are nesting to print a simple one-dimensional array. Basically one-dimensional array or anything one dimensional. We uses one loop. It can be while loop or for loop. So this. Suppose you want to print 5 stars, it can be done with the help of single loop. But if you want to print stars in 2-dimensional, we have to use loop inside a loop, which means nesting of loops. So let's see what this means. So we will define our while like this. While c is less than equal to n, the loop for row 1, this loop will run until the c is not equal to n, and after entering into this loop we will simply print our star and is equal to space. We are giving an and. If we don't provide any value to any end value, then our default value of and gets /n. So that's why we are providing double quotes. We are providing space between double quotes so that our default value of /n can be replaced by a space. After doing this, we have to increment our column num, because if we don't increment our column, it will stuck here and it can form a infinite loop. After doing this is our execution of this while loop. Now for the outer while loop, we have to do r is equal to r plus 1, because we have to increment our rows also, and at the end we will do a simple print. And as I have explained that whenever there is nothing in the print, the default value of and is /n. It is used to get into the new line. So let's say dry run. So let's take r is equal to 1. N is equal to 3. User input is 3. So we will go here while r is less than or equal to n. Our r is 1 at initial. So we will get inside the loop c is equal to 1 gets initialized, and we will enter into this loop, second loop, while c is less than or equal to n. Yes, c is 1 is less than or equal to 3. We are into row number 1 and column number 1. This is for first while loop. This is for second while loop. Nested while loop. So c is less than or equal to and 1 is less than or equal to 3. It is true. We will print star. Our 1 star is printed. We have given a space. Okay, move to next line. C is equal to c plus 1. Our c value is now 2. C value is 2. We will print star again here, because there is a space, not a new line. It will print after the previous star. Again c is equal to c plus 1. Now c value is 3. 3 is less than or equal to 3. True. We will print again our star. Now c value is 4 after incrementing. Now this condition gets false, and our first iteration of while loop, which is inside the outer while loop, is completed. This is completed once, because this is completed once for row number 1. So we will move to this line. Row is equal to row plus 1. Our r value gets 2, and we will print a new line. We will move to new line. Now our pattern will start from printing here. Again, now our row is 2. Our column gets reinitialized by 1, because our column was here at the last time. So, and we have to print from start. So that's why we are reinitializing it with 1. So our column will start from here. So for row 2, 1 is less than or equal to 3, because our column is 1. Column is equal to 1. Yes. Print star. We have printed the star. we will increment C by 1. C value increments by increases by 1 and it becomes 2. 2 is less than equal to 3, true. C is equal to 2. We will print a star here with a following space. After we will increment C again by 1. Now our value of C is 3. 3 is less than equal to 3, true. We will go to this line of code, print our star with a space. Now C is 4. This value C is 4 is less than or equal to 3. This gets false and we will exit from this loop. For row number 2, our inside loop executes completely and our pattern is here. And we will move to this line, row is equal to row plus 1. This was our pattern from last page. Row is equal to row plus 1. Now row is equal to 3. For row is equal to 3, while 3 is less than or equal to 3, our condition is still true. So for row 3, we will move inside this and our column value is 1 again because we have to reinitialize to print from starting. So for row 3, our column is equal to 1. And inside this, and after doing column is equal to 1, we will get inside this loop. While C is less than or equal to 12, while 1 is less than or equal to 3, because our column is 1, it is true. We will move inside this while loop. We will print a star. Here we have printed the star with the following space and increment C by 1. Now our C value becomes 2. Again we will move here and check condition. 2 is less than or equal to 3, true. We will move inside this, print star with the following space. Again we will increment the C. Now C becomes 3. 3 is less than or equal to 3 equals it is still true. We will move inside this while loop, print our star with the following space. Again, and after this we will increment our C by 1. Now C becomes 4. 4 is less than or equal to 3. Now this condition is false and our this while loop, the iteration of this while loop is completed for r is equal to 3. And after doing this we will move to this line, r is equal to r plus 1. Now r gets 4 and print line, new line, the output gets printed to the new line after this. Now this means that if there is a new output, it will be printed from this line. And as you can see, our r is 4. We will check our r at this line. 4 is less than or equal to 3. The statement gets false and our program gets executed and exits. So our final output will be this. For r is equal to 3. For n is equal to 3, user input 3. For user input 3, a matrix or a square matrix of 3 cross 3 will be printed, which we call as our star pattern. So let's finally see our pattern which we are trying to print. D, C, D, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. So to print this, first we will take user input and store it in variable n. After taking this, we will initialize our row by 1. We have initialized our row with 1. Now we will use while loop and increment our rows. While row is less than or equal to n, we have to go from row 1 to row n. Inside this loop, we will, as same as the previous output, we will initialize a variable c with a value 1. After doing this, as you can see, we are printing alphabets here, not the stars. So to print the alphabets, we have to do some mathematics and calculation, and to print alphabets in Python there are many methods, but the method I am using is by using its ASCII value. ASCII value are the values which are assigned to the alphabets, numerical values which are assigned to the alphabets in special characters. For example, A has an ASCII value of 65. So we are using this method, ASCII value method, to print our alphabets, and by adding +1, we will get 66, which means B. By adding 1 we can get A to Z from 65. Our 65 is the code of capital A, ASCII value. So we will take a variable L and give it a value or calculation like this: 65 minus rho plus n. We will see how we calculated this formula and how it will work in our pattern printing. After doing this, we will move inside our nested while loop while column is less than or equal to row. Seen last time, we were taking our column is less than or equal to n. This is for printing a square pattern, and in this pattern we are taking C is less than or equal to R. We are doing this because we want to print the pattern in a triangle format. We will see how this works. After doing this, we will simply print CHR. CHR is a function in Python which takes the ASCII value and prints its equivalent alphabet. And is equal to space. We have to give a space so that it should not move to a new line default. We will increment our alphabet, the ASCII value of character, by 1, and also our column number by 1. After doing this while loop, we will increment our row value for this while loop. R is equal to R plus 1, and we will at the end print our space. So this is our program to print this alphabet right angle triangle pattern. So let's see how it works. So in this pattern we are seeing for row is equal to 1, our value is starting from D. For row is equal to 2, our value is starting from C. For row is equal to 3, our value is starting from B, and row is equal to 4. This is for user input 4. It is starting from A. So how this formula works? So let's see on next page. Our formula of L was 65 minus R plus N, and we were printing. I am writing the nested while loop, not the whole program. While C is less than or equal to R, print CHR of AL and is equal to space. AL is equal to AL plus 1, C is equal to C plus 1, and our AL was 65 minus R plus N. So let's see how this formula works and how it gives our value that we need. Our pattern, let's write our pattern here. So at initial our row is 1, our N is equal to 4. N is equal to 4, user input 4. So let's calculate AL. 65 minus row 1 plus N is equal to 4. So it is equivalent to 68. And 68 is the ASCII code for D. This is for row 1. When we will move to row number 2, our L becomes 65 minus row number 2 plus 4. 65 minus 2, 63 plus 4, 67, which is equivalent to C. When we are on our row number 3, our L value will be 65 minus 3 plus 4, 66, which is for B. When our row will be 4, our L value will be 65 minus 4 plus 4, 65, which is equivalent to A. So that's how we are doing our calculations in this formula for this pattern. And for this line C is less than equal to R, the column will move until the number of rows. For row 1, column will move until 1. For row 2, column will move until number 2. For 3, it will move until 3. So it is balancing, or it is equal to the column is equal to the number of rows. For column 1, let's see by this: C1, C2, C3, R1, R2, R3. So while C is less than equal to R for 1, for row is equal to 1, column will be 1, row 1, column 1. Here our pattern will be printed. For row is equal to 2, column, the value of column will be 1 and 2, because it is less than or equal to R, 1 column and second column. For row is equal to 3, our column will be 1, 2, 3. It will move from 1 and to 3, because whenever the inside value gets iterated successfully, our column value gets reinitialized with 1. So our column value will be 1, 2, 3. So you can see that it is forming a triangle. To print the pattern in a triangle format, we simply use C is less than equal to R. And we have seen our program to print DCBA, how we can getting our initial value by using this formula, 65 minus R plus N. And see this line also, AL is equal to L plus 1. So in our first condition, the inside loop will run for once. So it will print first D and increment value by 1. So D, it will become E, because 68 plus 1, 69. And it will move again to this line. And this line we are calculating our L value again. And here our R will become 2. So what we are getting for R is equal to 2, 67, which is for C. And we are C, 1 is less than equal to 2. It will go until 2. So 2 value will be printed, C and D. And again, by this we will print B, C, D, because for row number 3, our column, only 3 value printed in our columns. For R is equal to 4, our 4 value printed in column with an increment in the alphabet value, A, B, C, D. So that's how our pattern will be printed by all this calculation. So let's see our program. So it is taking user input. So we are providing 4 as in the dry run example. So you can see that the value that are printing are C, O, D, C, D, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. First we are taking user input. We are initializing a variable row with the value 1. We are running a while loop while row is less than equal to n, while the row will go from 1 to 4. Here we are taking example 4. And here we are declaring a variable with value 1. And here is the alphabet which we are printing, and it is the calculation we have discussed in our copy. while c is less than equal to r. Note here we are not taking n, and here we are taking r because we have to form a pattern in triangle form, and we are printing the value. We are taking the value. Basically this will give a number, and we will use this number to print the alphabet by using this chr function. This chr function takes the ASCII value of the alphabet and prints the equivalent alphabet. So it will print alphabet like this, and we will increment the value by 1. Why we are incrementing? Because we have to increment the alphabet like this. For row 2, 2 value will be printed. For row number 3, 3 values will be printed. For row number 4, 4 values will be printed. By after doing this, we will increment our seed to move to the second column. And after completing the whole iteration for this loop, for this loop, we will increment our row by 1 and simply give a print statement, which means a new line, and move to next line to print the. After printing this, we will print this, and after this we will print this, and then this.